In this experiment, we're going to try to find out if Ms. Crowley was indeed telling the truth. Had she just jumped out of the pond where she ran into to cover her tracks? Or did she spill some bubbly water in her backyard? Didn't seem likely that she'd spill anything. She seemed very, very neat, and her excuse of tripping over a rake seemed sort of unlikely. However, Watson did notice something peculiar in the backyard where she had spilled the bubbly water. There were some suckleberry berries that were acting very oddly in that puddle. And he thought, hey, maybe we could do an experiment to see if she was telling the truth. If indeed she did spill some suckleberry soda bubbly water in the backyard. Now, what I have here, and what you need to get, by the way, you need to get 2 tall glasses. I have 4 here, and I'll explain why later. You need some regular old tap water, and you need some bubbly water. It could be soda pop, as long as it's clear, so you need to be able to see into it, like 7-Up or Sprite or Squirt or tonic water, but it needs to be bubbly water. So let's start this experiment. I have, fortunately, some suckleberries that are a little bit dried out, had a long journey from Gaia, and these are delicious. I tell you, they're unbelievable. Like somewhere between a cherry and a grape. Is that good? And I have some raisins, which Watson recommends that we try because it's also a dried fruit that is very much like the dried suckleberry that Watson saw in Ms. Crowley's backyard. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a control. And the control is going to be regular old water because puddles in the backyard are not that uncommon, especially if you have an orchard. We're using sprinklers, or maybe it rained. So I got some regular old tap water, which represents a rainwater or a sprinkler water, and we're going to put some dried suckleberries in one, dried grapes or raisins in the other. Now, she said she was carrying some bubbly water. Get some of that bubbly water right here. Oh yeah, here we go. Pop this off. We're going to pour some bubbly water into one. In this case, for your experiment with your raisins, this is all you need, but since I also want to show you the suckleberry, the dried suckleberries, and see if they indeed do behave like raisins, we're going to pour another one. But it's important that you pour at least one for you. Okay. Now to find out if Ms. Crowley is telling the truth, I'm going to put some raisins into this one here, and I'm going to put some suckleberries into this one here, and see if we see something that's similar to what Watson saw in the backyard of Ms. Crowley. Hey, things are happening. I think he described them as dancing. As we can see over here, our suckleberries are going pretty crazy. We have some raisins that are going up and down too. There goes a raisin right now. They don't like to dance quite as much, but they are dancing. It's important to take a little bit of time and really observe to see what's happening. And from this, we should be able to conclude whether Ms. Crowley was telling the truth or not. Also, hey, where did I go? Also, as we're watching our suckleberries and raisins do the slow dance, you have to think, how could that possibly happen? Well, obviously there's some bubbles rising, and it looks like there's a lot of bubbles on our raisins and suckleberries. That was a raisin. And because the dried fruit, maybe it'll bubbles can stick to them rather easily. And if that's the case, they can carry it up, they get to the top, and the bubbles then are released. And then it'll sink back down. Oh, a bubble caught it, goes back to the top. There's another one coming to the top here, raisin, comes to the top. Oh, the bubbles are released and down it comes. Would this work with other dried fruit? Perhaps apricots? Are apricots too big? What if you cut up apricots? I'm talking about dried apricots here, something with wrinkles on it. Or plums. Or what about a smooth fruit? Like a grape? There's some other experiments we can certainly do.